Do you know what, Mike? You're a West
Ham
Ham fan, yeah? You're a West Ham fan.
Unfortunately.
Right. What's your thoughts on this manager? What's your thoughts on Arsenal?
That's funny.
I think, for example, let's say Arsenal's plan was, and Arsenal don't have a plan ever, but let's say Arsenal's plan was hire Arteta to get us back to competing, then we can get the main guy to actually take us over the line. Then I would actually give the guy credit. But this guy and the whole club and some of the fan base think that he's the guy to get you over the line to win major honours again. I don't think he's the main guy. And I think the reason why I agree with the side of people that Arteta out is because the same people that flogged out Wenger, for example, were like, we want Wenger out because we're sick of fourth and FA Cups and stuff like that as well, just getting Champions League. We actually want to win the league now. A lot of these people have changed their mind over Arteta. Some have kept the same energy, of course, but a lot of people have changed their mind just because it's been that long ago. And I'm just like, well, what changed? Because if you just kept the same energy for every single time, you actually might put some pressure on the club. Yeah, fans are more noisy than people think. Yeah, when you actually make a statement, for example, you keep the same energy with the next manager and the next manager, and go on. You're still keeping the standard of the club, regardless of what direction your club is actually going in terms of the structure and that. So I just think the manager's gone too far the other way. Like, I don't think he needed to change much from the first season you challenged. All I think he needed to do was just get a better left back at the time that can actually defend in these areas or whatever, and you would have been fine. You could have played similar football where you actually were getting the best out of your attackers and stuff. Maybe added a striker. Xhaka was leaving, so cool. Actually get another number 8 instead of, giving us 100 million for someone that you don't know how to use. Like, I'm not even trying to take the piss, but you don't know how to use the guy. It's just simple as that. So I think it's just been bad squad planning and just not enough pressure, not enough consistent pressure, manager in, manager out, all of this. And the standards have changed depending on the manager. Like, just because the guy is a novice, that doesn't mean you should give him a chance. Because it's just like, when have Arsenal ever hired a novice? I've never seen like a Big Six club do this, or a team that's trying to compete for certain do this, even though you weren't even trying to compete at the time. This is the first of many times I've seen this. So that's why I understand why Arsenal fans are frustrated if they are. But I don't get it, because if you keep the same energy with Wenger at the time, and I understand it, because a lot of people would get onto Arsenal fans at the time and be like, oh, but Wenger did this and Wenger did that. Well, once you fall off from the standard that you're used to, I get it, put pressure on them. Like, it's common. To me, it's common sense in it. That's just how I grew up. It's common sense. So I understand the same people putting pressure on Arteta now being frustrated. And I don't get the people that have dropped that. If you've never seen it before, I understand it, but to an extent. But then again, you should know the history of your club. You should still know the history of your club. You should still be bought in to, like, oh, well, we're used to winning. So when am I going to see a Premier League? I've grown up. Let's say people are my age, or 22. When am I going to see a Premier League and I can actually live it properly? When am I going to see that? My dad's seen it. My uncle's seen it. My older friends have seen it. When am I going to get to see it? You should.
And you as a West Ham fan, yeah? Because I know your views, but I know there's a lot of people that don't. There's links to most of the chat's channels. Lee, Mike's, Yasser, they're in the channel. They're pinned in the comments here in the title of the show. What's your opinion on West Ham? Because you have higher standards for West Ham than Forward does for Arsenal. Why are you upset at West Ham?
No, but no, I have a question.
Please, can you let him land, please? No, hold on, because he didn't cut you, Forward. Yeah, you will have your
Keep
turn.
my name out your mouth, you like crybaby.
Please await your turn, please. Yeah, mind the gap.
But no, if you asked the wrong question.
No, hold on. Let Max land. What's your standard for West Ham, though, Max? And then I'll let everybody else in.
My standard for West Ham is what I was promised when we moved to the London Stadium, is to be constantly competing at a so-called next level, which is a load of bullshit anyway. But for me, I see the next level as trying to constantly win the competitions you're in and finishing in Europe, so you can actually be in an extra competition to win something. Because if you're not going to win the league, go for every competition possible. Even though West Ham have been outright failure domestically for years. Because when I was younger, my dad showed me the tapes of when we won the FA Cup. So I'm like, I want to see that. My dad showed me the tape of the 1966 final, and he said, these three played for West Ham and stuff. Like, I was brought the history of the club. Even though we're not the biggest club in the world, that's how I've always kept it. See, West Ham fans wouldn't be complaining right now if we were at Upton Park, because it'd just be like, okay, we've never had expectation here anyway. We've seen good players and stuff like that. We always caught at least one baller that we can just appreciate, and we'll fuck off home and just get drunk and whatever. But now we're at the London Stadium. We're at a fucking shithole. We just want to leave after the 60th minute because the stadium's shit, the area's shit, and to get back to the train station takes half an hour. So we actually want to see us win something. That would be nice. And the match-going fans have always kept that standard of, like, if you play like shit, we're going to boo the fuck out of you. I don't care who you are. So that's the reason why we're like this. People be like, but you're West Ham. See, if I had the mentality of but you're West Ham, That's everything wrong with English, the mentality, but your West Ham. So, okay, let me not wish for anything else. Let me not wish for anything. Like, that's the way I see it. So when I compare it to like Arsenal, for example, like you should keep the same standard as you did with Wenger. Like with me, I'm keeping the standard of what the owners held us up to when they moved stadium because no one wanted to move but them. Just my opinion.
You see, forward standards. Yeah. What are you saying now?
North, can I ask a question quickly?
Go on.
Mike's. North forgot to ask you this question. Yeah. Would you take Arteta at West Ham?
This guy's taking the piss.
I'm gonna take Arteta at West Ham. I think he's actually made for the tier below. So yeah, I don't think he's made for a top tier club. I don't think he's made. I don't think he's made for a top tier club. I don't think. Well, the club that's trying to be a top tier club. If he, but unlike Arsenal fans, if you're not getting me in Europe first 2 seasons or whatever, or first season, and you're not going for the FA Cup, you're not going for the Carabao Cup, and we properly go for it. If you're not doing that, you can fuck off because I give managers a pre-season. If you do me wrong on the first game, you can fuck right off. I don't care.
Yo, Fuad, what you saying? He's talking about your homeboy like that. He's talking about your cousin like that. You gonna have that?
Yeah, listen, I'm not gonna sit here defend him because he deserves criticism. That's the truth about it. I'm not. Look, people think I'm relaxed.
So why did you call Lee negative then? Why did you call? If he deserves criticism and Lee's criticized and I've criticized, why are we negative then?
I'm gonna answer. It's none of your business. What I say to Lee, yo, you were just born a crybaby negative. I won't be surprised if you vote reform just to get Arteta out because you won't foreigners out anyway. So yo, bro, you got your chance. Write a letter to Nigel Farage. Say to him, yo, listen, get this guy out my club.
Fuck about that country. I live in Spain. So I hope that weren't aimed at me.
Is your name Northside? I know you live in Spain, you're foreigner. Listen, I'm talking to this guy.
Hey, that's rich coming from the Welshie over here, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you're lucky Swansea and Cardiff playing the English fucking leagues, mate.
You accepted us for 1 season.
Yeah, you've stayed ever since. Disgusting behaviour.
So we have got a little league good, but it's not as big as the Championship.
So what are you believing in that we can still win the league? Because you finished your whole monologue.
Listen, I'll be honest with you, because I'm just hoping, bro, because I want him to change it. We haven't seen Eze, we haven't seen Saka, we haven't seen Gyökeres because of his stupidity, bro. So you got to get criticism. You can't. No Arsenal fan can sit here and say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna win the league because if he changes his mind and changes his philosophy and maybe say to Eze, go to Gyökeres, feed Gyökeres, play Naraweri. Yo, you're playing all these defensive midfielders. You could put 2 attacking midfielders in and just put Declan Rice. Like you could do loads of things with our team. Do you get me? You can't forget all this. Oh, we should play this way. Everyone got an opinion, bro. You got the players to do it now. Well, last year you couldn't tell me. You couldn't tell me last year that we can drop Saka. Look, Madueke, I'm not saying he's the answer. He's been all right. I'm not gonna get too carried away with him, but he's been okay. I'm not gonna say he's been the best. No, but because you can't say he's been wicked and all that because no goals, no assists. Do you get me? So he's been okay going up the wing and all that. But you can't say that. But you could turn around and say, you know what? We'll play Declan Rice as holding, and put Manueli, Eze, and let the front three do what they got to do. Martinelli, Gyökeres, Saka. He's got options.
He'd rather turn in his own grave than do that, though. So
yeah, he got options. It's not like we haven't got the options. Like me, when I see like last year when I was on your show thing, I tipped Liverpool to win the league on your show, Northside, and you know at the start of the season, I tipped Liverpool to win the league. When people say, "Oh, why are you tipping them?" Because I said it's a new manager, new year, maybe new ideas. So I think everyone's writing him off. He got nothing to lose. And Liverpool, the reason why I said Liverpool last year, tipped Liverpool, because I said they fight on all fronts. If they went for the league, they might win it.
So why do you never tip us to win under Arteta then? When do you tip
last
us?
Year, because I had that feeling Liverpool were going to win it last year.
So
why didn't you tip us?
This year, if we get it right, I think we'll win the league.
No, that's not if. Yeah, if my auntie had fucking wheels, she'd be a bike, mate. Yeah. So let's just be real with it. Who is going to win the league in your honest opinion?
How do you know she won't be a car?
Well, she could be a fucking car. She could be a lorry. She could be a bus. Either way, it ain't Arteta. So who are you tipping to win the league?
What the fuck, man?
That's why he came with a press conference background, because he's just waffling like Arteta.
I believe
It's just the tip, Fuad. It's just the tip.
I think Liverpool are favourites, but I think Arsenal can win the league too.
No, not can. Who do you think
Can win
will?
the league too.
Not can, might.
Okay,
Only one person can win the league.
Ask me in 10 games.
I'm waiting for him to say I don't have time to answer that question like Arteta did yesterday.
Yep.
There you go. Ask me in 10
Lauren,
games.
what do you make of all this bullshit? Yeah, because you support a proper club and you are the classiest club in the Premier League. Yeah. And you are current champions, and you have got Stevie behind you. I've obviously got Sleggers behind me, Pauls. Yeah. However, what do you make of this, Ludo? Because this is just serial bullshit, isn't it? It's just waffling, isn't it?
I think when you're 6 years into a process, I feel the patience runs dry, especially when you're seeing the same narrative play out on the pitch, even off the pitch. And you could tell Arteta's back is against the wall because his answers are getting testier. He's getting a little feisty in the press conferences. And that's a sign of someone who feels a bit threatened because they know that this is the season that he can do it, or will he not do it? Whether he can or not is sort of that's why we're here having this debate. So I'm here to tell you, I don't think he can. But I only say that because I've seen it. Every sports team has a window of opportunity where they can win, and then you need to recycle the team, right? And I feel that Arteta has that window is already gone, in my opinion. You have usually the 4 to 5 years to capitalize, and since he has not been able to do that, and they've thrown all their what's the saying? Everything against the wall, pause, whatever. I don't know the saying here. I just heard Lee talking about fucking a dead horse earlier. So I don't know what's going on.
Sink at it, Ludo.
Yeah, throwing the kitchen sink. Yeah, we'll go with that.
I never said fuck it. I said flog it or flogging.
But the thing is, fair. No, I just feel like we're replacing players, like sort of what Mike's was saying earlier, that the recruitment strategy from you guys has almost set you up for failure at this point. And there's a reason why I kept saying to Lee, you guys you're not selling any players. Like who's going to play left back for you guys? Primarily Skelly and Cape. We got, of course, Calafiori. Great. You got a beautiful stallion horse at the back. But what happens when he gets injured?
Is it
horse. Listen, apparently we're all about horses tonight. But anyway, so the point is that you have so many players now. And I know that's the opposite of what you guys were speaking about last year. You had not enough players. You had the smallest squad in the league. However, now you have too many. And it's all because of the recruitment strategy that you guys have built up over this window that you should have won, in my opinion, the 5-year window, if you want to call it that. And you can't sell the players that you're trying to offload. Nobody's good. And I think that's a huge problem. And a lot of them are on high salaries that it's almost as like, I don't even know how much Saka's on right now, but you know, what's alarming though, him and Saliba, arguably your two most important players. Listen, I fucking know all about running contracts down. Okay. I've developed a drug habit, and I've developed an alcohol habit because all my players are running down their fucking contracts, and it's really stressing me out. But you have a problem. You have two players that arguably, I don't have a drug problem or an alcohol problem, guys, just for preface. But you have two players, Saliba and Saka, that they're going into the final year of their contracts. And I'm just thinking, what are you gonna give Saka? 400,000 pounds a week? Is that what he's gonna ask for that?
He's at
I found out yesterday,
and he's looking at 29 on 280. So he's getting at least.
And how are you gonna sell Havertz? Sorry, 29 Lee. But how are you gonna sell these guys?
Charlie.
And that's but everything's been said that's need to be said about tactics. and the window of opportunity, in my opinion, has passed. But if you want to go even on the business side, like the finances side, how are you going to sell these players that you've accrued over, what is it, £1 billion at this point? And you're not going to win anything potentially that is why this season is very crucial, because you need to pay those. You have to receive dividends, for lack of a better term, on the amount of money you put into these players.